Welcome to the hills of Southern California. Welcome at Sonoma Road Course. We are here with the Coast to Coast Racing League doing something completely different tonight. As from most of our other nights, we are going left and right tonight at the Sonoma Road Course. We have, let's see, 9 drivers registered for the race. That is not a whole lot, but we're still going to try to make this a fun night for you. And it looks like currently it is Hank Caston that has posted the quickest lap time on this road course here with a 118.89. And Michael Edwards, that you're currently watching, has copied that time pretty much exactly 1.18.89. So let's go take a look at our information here tonight. We are going to be racing 65 laps here with the Cup cars. This is, if I have it correctly, the 8th or 9th race in the series. We are getting close to the playoffs. This race and next week will be the final races before we go into the playoffs for the season. So tonight here it is 78 degrees Fahrenheit, which makes for a cool California day, I would say. The relative humidity is 55%. It's partly cloudy. There's no wind. You can see the layout of the road course here as NASCAR uses it. The track is almost 2 miles long. It's a kind of a twisty track with a hairpin right at the end of the lap there. You can see all that on the left side of the map there. A hairpin right in front of the main straightaway, which is really not straight. Then let's see, we have a track temperature of 125 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is pretty hot. That makes for a little bit of slip sliding around, and we've seen some drivers get in trouble during practice here. It is not easy for the guys that are more familiar and more regularly used to driving ovals and speedways. This is a tricky race on the calendar for those guys. So we'll have to wait and see how this pans out for those guys. All right, so we're going to be going into qualifying here shortly. We have about a minute and a half to go in the practice session. Not everybody has posted a lap time already. We're going to be doing 2 qualifying laps individually, just like NASCAR does it. The drivers cannot see each other, but we can pick up anybody that we would want to see. Then after that, we're going to go into a 65 lap race on road courses. Full course cautions can be induced by the race admin, but iRacing itself does not give you full course cautions here, just local yellows if there's an incident in the turn. Local yellows also obviously mean that under a yellow flag in a certain section of the track you cannot pass, and it's kind of advised to slow down a little bit to avoid the carnage. So the drivers have a fuel capacity limit of 70% as opposed to the normal fuel cell size of the regular NASCARs, which means that we'll see them coming into the pits a little bit more often. I'm not exactly sure what the fuel window is, but on a road course, I expect them to be pitting at least twice. And there you see one of the problems with a hot track. It's very difficult to lay the power down in the lower gears. It's very easy to spin the wheels and catch yourself off guard with the back end coming around. Let's go check on Sean Ritalik here as slip sliding around as well. As practice comes to an end, we are going to go into qualifying. And let's see who is our first driver on the track here. Nobody on track just yet. Well, that gives me time to tell you some more about the situation for tonight. The pit lane speed limit is 45 miles an hour. We will not be using both pit lanes. There's 2 pit lanes here in Sonoma. The world will just be using the one on the left side that comes out into turn 1. So there's not enough cars on the track to use the other one. The guys are running a fixed setup on this car tonight. That means that they can basically only alter the steering ratio and the brake bias. Brake bias is a lot more important here than on oval tracks, obviously, because we're going to be using that brake. Well, we should be anyway. We're going to be using that brake to slow the car down to get in the turn, and not just to slow it down, but also to transfer weight onto that front end and to make sure that those front wheels have grip when you are trying to steer into the corner. So what you'll be seeing is the guys will be on the brake until about the midpoint of the turn, what we call the apex, and then after the apex they'll be getting back on the gas. And as we saw before, they'll have to be a little bit careful getting on the gas not to turn that car around. They have one fast repair if they mess up. Fast repair means that all the damage that is on the car will be repaired instantly. The only thing that will take time as normal will be the changing of tires and the filling of the fuel tank. So a fast repair means instant damage repair, but not instantly new tires and fuel. Alright, so let's bring up the current point standings in the series that we have coming in this race. It is still Hank Caston in front with 175 points. Then it's Dalton Hayes, 169, Ken MacArthur, 169, Kevin Woods, 167. So the numbers 2, 3, and 4 are really close together there. Retallick and Edwards with 162 and 161, also pretty close together. And then further down the order, it's Nowell, Powers, Woodward, Helms, Anderson, Bullock, Cavett, Rose, and Edmonds. Brian Rose is here, your 14th place in the standings, but not everybody, unfortunately, is here. I do see J.D. Woodward is here now. There you have him in the number 9 car. So let's see how we're doing on qualifying. Obviously, it takes them a little bit to get a lap time in. They first have to run their out lap and get up to speed, then run another lap, and that will be their first timed lap. And on a 2-mile road course, obviously, that's going to take a little bit. So we're waiting on the first times to be posted. The laps have to be clean. That means that they cannot have any off tracks. They cannot cut corners. They cannot go off corners. They have to run clean laps in order for the times to count. iRacing will disallow any time that was set on a lap in which you go off track or have any other kind of incident. And that means that a lap that you see there, I don't know how picky iRacing is on that turn, but it could very well be that that lap would not be allowed. So the first driver that we see coming in here with a time posted is Hank Caston with a 1:19.63. Currently your quickest driver on the track. There we saw MacArthur. Ooh, it looked like MacArthur had a little bit of an off. Not sure if yep, there you go. That lap will be disallowed. Hopefully for him it's his out lap. And let's take a look here. Michael Edwards coming by the start-finish line. Hopefully that would set him a time. It does. It's a 1:29.33. I hate to tell you this, but 10 seconds slower on a lap, that is way too much. Hopefully he can improve that time his next time around. And let's see if we have Sean Retallick. He's gone off. Oh boy. So that is tough luck for Sean Retallick. I'm not sure if that was his first lap, but I do believe so, that he's just starting his first time lap here, going off and hitting the rails pretty hard. That means he's going to have to restart from the pits, and that might actually cost him his entire qualifying run. Bouncing back there, hit the brakes, Sean. Let's go take a look at Michael Edwards' second lap, and also Hank Caston. We'll keep an eye on him. He's coming back towards the finish line here to finish up his qualifying attempt. And let's see what his second lap is. We're still on replay mode. Excuse me. His second lap was a 1:19.9, which was not faster than his first lap. And it looks like J.D. Woodward He has posted the fastest lap with a 118.3. Let's see if we can bring him back on the replay here. There he comes in the Napa car coming towards the finish line. That's where he posted his best lap time. There you have him. And that was his provisional pole lap there. Let's go check on Ken MacArthur. He is not running at this moment. Let's go check on Sean Retallick. He's still out there. Hopefully he can get another lap in. And it looks like our scoring is acting up a little bit again. We'll get that sorted out here really quickly. Then there we have your scoring back in the working order. Woodward is still your quickest driver, and then it looks like DG Swiss has posted a time, and he's on his currently probably on his second lap here. He is fifth place currently with a 128.6, and that is that is about 10 seconds off the pole time, and that is just a little bit too much. So hopefully he can pick up some more speed here. And it wouldn't surprise me if some of these guys are just not really too familiar with road course racing. Obviously, we all know that NASCAR doesn't do a whole lot of it. And a lot of leagues and iRacing don't do enough of it either. But I like it. It's good fun, good change of pace. So hopefully he can get his Retallick going back off again. That kind of tells me that Sean's qualifying is basically done. He has not posted a time. Let's go check on DG here. And he is coming to the final hairpin here. There you see the pit entry. So with a pit entry, it takes them around that hairpin and then into the pit lane there on the right side of your screen, on the left side of the driver. And let's see if he posts a better time here. No, his second lap was disallowed. He must have had an off somewhere. So final car on the track here is Sean Retallick. We have not seen an attempt from Nigel Christensen, and there he has another off. Ooh, that big jump. It doesn't look like Sean's all that comfortable around here. Dalton Hayes is getting ready to go out. We didn't see him in practice, but he is coming out to qualify. He better hurry, because he might not make it. Because qualifying will be over in about a minute and a half, so I don't believe he's going to be able to set a time at all. Nine drivers currently entered into the race. I haven't seen Brian Rose back on track since practice. I'm not sure if he's looking to come out. He hasn't attempted to qualify either. So currently only the 5 drivers you see on your screen have posted a lap time here at Sonoma, California. Wine country. Very twisty track with a few blind corners actually, and that makes it pretty tricky. And you can see Dalton Hayes is really not going at speed. There he's coming towards the final bit. The building you see there, that's where the entry of the pit lane is. So slight right-hander here. That'll take him past the building. On your left side you see the pit lane entrance, and here is a hairpin turn that brings us onto the main straightaway. And on the left side you see the pit lane there, and then a little kink here, and that'll take you to the finish line. Alright, so we're getting ready to get started here. For the 65 laps at Sonoma, we have J.D. Woodward on the pole position. We have Hank Caston alongside him on the outside, 1.2 seconds slower in qualifying. Michael Edwards is on the inside of row 2 with Ken MacArthur on the outside. Then it's GG Swiss on the third row on the inside. On the outside, it is Nigel Christensen. Inside fourth row is Dalton Hayes. Outside fourth row is Sean Retallick. And on the final starting position, we have Brian Rose, shown as FN Brian, nicknamed, I guess. I'm not sure where the nickname is coming from, but Brian Rose is the man. And there we see our second place position, Hank Caston. We can go through those cars here. The number 97 of Ken MacArthur. Very, very cool paint job he's got there. And the number 26 of GG Swiss, 16 of Nigel Christensen, Dalton Hayes there in the 47, Sean Retallick in the number 10, Brian Rose in the 24, and we have JD Woodward now on the pole position as well. And once again, scoring is not really cooperating with me, so we're going to fix that real quick, hopefully before we get started here. There you have them. We're back in business here. They're following the pace car. Beautiful Porsche. And guys are given a one warm-up lap here to try to get some heat in those tires. Ken MacArthur here in the 97. Edwards, Christensen. They probably won't line them up until that final stretch towards the hairpin. Sean Retallick here in the 10. This corner here is a blind corner when they approach it. It's pretty tricky because right in the middle of the turn you're going over a crest and it takes the weight off the front and the rear end. It's really a very tricky turn, especially with these heavier cars. Dalton Hayes you see there, and Brian Rose, the final two cars on the grid here. The number 9 of JD Woodward behind the pace car. And this is the final curves. It's kind of a twisty section. It's fairly fast. That brings you towards the final short straightaway towards that hairpin where we saw that little building on the inside. They're going to have another right sweep here. They're already lining them up. And then at the end of your picture, you will see the building, and there they're coming towards that hairpin turn here. The pit lane entrance is where you see the pace car going off the track. So they're going to be going into that final hairpin side by side here onto the main straightaway, and the green flag should be waving here. It looks like JD Woodward is already going, and Hank Caston is here in second position. Following him, Ken MacArthur, Michael Edwards there together going towards turn 1. Michael Edwards in the 21 car, then it's GG Swiss in the 26, I'm sorry, in 5th. Then it's Sean Retallick behind him, Dalton Hayes and Brian Rose closing out the 9 drivers that took the start here. Let's take a look here at your leader, JD Woodward. Coming towards the back end of the track with a right turn and a short straightaway towards another right-hander here. As you can tell, there are several configurations of this track here. The Indy cars run a different configuration than the NASCARs do. Here is a kind of an S section here that pretty much keeps twisting left and right here. Another left here, and then follows another right, and that brings us back to that hairpin. There you have it. At the end of that here is that hairpin, a right-hander. That brings us back to the main straightaway, and that brings JD Woodward around for the first time, starting lap 2 here in Sonoma, California, with Hank Caston in the number 5 in second place. And let's keep an eye on those lap times here. We see a 122 for Woodward and a 124 for Caston. Michael Edwards with a 127, MacArthur 128, Swiss 129. And as you can tell there, the difference between the drivers on this road course are quite substantial, and that means that we're gonna, even with a small field like this, we're gonna be looking. Ooh, and there we see Brian Rose already off. And this is that track, what I was, the corner I was talking about, where the car gets a little light. It's very difficult for throttle control, and Brian Rose is one of the first guys finding that out the hard way. He's back on his way. It doesn't look. Ooh, and as I say that, he goes off again. And it looks like Brian is struggling a little bit. I saw him in practice, and he's not a road course guy. Let's go back up to the front here, where J.D. Woodward is going into the final turn to start lap 3 here in Sonoma, California. His advantage on Hank Aston is now 3.8 seconds. There you have Caston coming off that final turn as well, and there we have Brian going off again. Ooh, he's in trouble. J.D. Woodward is not having very much trouble. Runs a 1:19.12 now, a very good lap. And it looks like Caston running a 1:20, and then Edwards a 1:21. So it looks like these guys are picking up that speed a little bit, trying to find their groove here on this road course. And Sean Retallick here is now in 5th position. DG Swiss has dropped back here. Oh, there you have it. He's had an incident. Let's see what happened to him. Yeah, the same thing. A car gets light on those crests. You got to be careful on that throttle, and it's so easy to mess it up. Luckily for the guys, on most parts of the track, the wall is quite a distance from the track, and in the critical corners and the critical exits, there is tire barriers that prevents you from extensive damage when you hit it. The turn that you're looking at now actually has a wide asphalt runoff area, and then the twisty section here, you see that on the left side the wall is a little bit closer, but most of the runoff areas are quite extensive here on this road course. Of course, the sand is not helping much. There is absolutely zero grip when you get off in the sand, so it is not easy. These heavy cars are really a handful on tracks like this. These heavy NASCARs are really not made for this kind of stuff, but we do it every once in a while in NASCAR twice a year, and I believe this is the only road course this series runs, if I'm informed correctly. But yeah, these cars are quite a handful on tracks like this. Ooh, there we see Dalton Hayes getting it completely wrong here. Let's go take a look. That is the first few turns that he's looking at. He's too wide on the entry of turn 1, overshoots that apex completely, and he kind of climbs uphill, and it looks to me like he doesn't really know where to go. He's stuck on the, oh my gosh, he's stuck on the crest. Oh, he's gonna have to take a tow to the pits and start from there. Woodward is not having that much trouble yet. He's running fairly consistent lap times here. Yeah, Dalton Hayes has taken that tow to pit lane, so he'll have to restart from there. Hank Caston is running about 2 seconds slower than Woodward at this point. And Michael Edwards has just ran pretty much an equal time to Caston, so that is hopeful. And the same for Ken MacArthur. He also ran a 1:22, and did Sean Retallick. So these guys are looking for a little bit of a battle here between 2nd and 5th position. That would definitely be interesting to watch here. Ken MacArthur defending from the number 10 car of Sean Retallick here. Let's keep an eye on these guys. There you have him in the hairpin. I'm sorry, that's the back end of the track. That was the second right-hand turn at the back end of the track. Going into the twisty section here. The 97 holding off Sean Retallick for that 4th position. Let's go and check on Caston. He is now about 6 seconds behind the leader. And then 7 seconds behind him is Michael Edwards. And it looks like MacArthur and Retallick are the closest two drivers on track as we speak. And it looks like MacArthur's pulling away from Retallick now. And we have another off for Brian Rose here. And he's getting lapped already. That is that blind turn here, and then you can tell he's just not sure when to steer into the apex. And when he gets off the crest, the car just slides over those front wheels and has no grip at all. So unfortunately, Brian Rose is already a lap down on the leaders, but he's still running, and as long as you're running, there is hope. That cannot be said for Dalton Hayes. He's in the pit. And, well, he sounds like he wants to go, but that tow probably took quite long. Road courses have quite an extensive tow. iRacing basically just calculates that time. And there he goes back out. He's going to try this again. And he might be able to slowly work his way towards Brian Rose there. There's your leader, J.D. Woodward. And about 5 seconds behind him, it's Hank Caston. So that tells me that Hank is picking up the pace a little bit here. He's a little bit quicker currently than J.D. Woodward. Ken MacArthur and Sean, it looks like Michael Edwards had an off. Let's go see if we can find that. Let's see if I can figure out what happened to Michael Edwards. There you have him. He's been off. And there you see the 97 and the 10 going by there, taking that position away from him. So unfortunately, Michael has dropped back to 5th position. Let's go check on Nigel Christensen. He's in 6th. And it looks like we're having an eventful night here, especially for Brian Rose. He is struggling on this track, and he's obviously not used to running these road course circuits. J.D. Woodward is. It looks like he's a little bit better in control of this machine, and he is now losing his advantage a little bit on Hank Caston. Hank is once again running about a half a second quicker than J.D. So it looks like Hank is catching up with him. It's not going extremely quickly, but it is going. Ken MacArthur and Sean Retallick and Michael Edwards fairly close together here. See if we can widen that angle a little bit. There you have the 97, the number 10 right behind him. And once again, the blind corner here, and they're very careful. Let's go right along with Sean Retallick here. There you see another fairly blind corner. It's very easy to overshoot. A short straightaway, and then they go a fairly tight right-hander here with a heavy curb. Good runoff area there. And we see Sean Retallick passing the 97 car there. What's going on with the 97? Because it looks like Edwards is also going by there. Let's bring that back for you. That 97 seems to get in trouble here. He runs over that curb fairly hard. That's where he loses the position to the number 10. And then they come to another right-hander here, and he knows that Michael Edwards is on his inside. He just doesn't want to take any chances, and he lets the 21 go by. And in hot pursuit, he'll probably try again to take that position back. Sean Retallick now in the 3rd. Oh, and Sean gets it wrong coming off the hairpin. Too early on the gas, it looks like. Let's bring that back for you. Yeah, he slides that back end away. He catches it, and he goes back on his way. He is currently the 3rd place driver. Michael Edwards now behind him in 4th, and Ken MacArthur in 5th. Nigel Christensen hanging on there to 6th position with a 36-second deficit on MacArthur. Ooh, and it looks like somebody had another incident. See if we can bring back... Yeah, there he goes off track just a notch here. Nigel Christensen in 6th, then it's GG Swiss in 7th. He's about 5 seconds behind Christensen, and that gap seems to be fairly steady. And then it's Brian Rose in 8th. And it's Brian Rose. Looks like we just lost him with... Dalton Hayes is going off here. Let's go see what happened. That's the final. Oh, he's just way too hot in there. Can't get the grip on the front wheels and runs it into the tire wall there in the final turn. So Dalton Hayes also having a difficult night here at Sonoma Road Course. Let's go check on J.D. Woodward. It looks like he's still doing all right. His last lap was 2 seconds quicker than Caston, so Caston must have had a little bit of an issue somewhere. Lost about 2 seconds on Woodward. The deficit for him is now about 9 seconds. Through the S's here. Let's go check on the group of 3 that has been kind of pulled apart now. Sean Retallick is in 3rd position, coming on to Dalton Hayes there to put a lap on him. And that might be a little bit tricky here in these waving turns. There, Hayes takes evasive action there. That's good work. And Michael Edwards, Sean Retallick passes him and puts a lap on him. And then Michael Edwards and Ken MacArthur do the exact same thing. There you have Michael Edwards. So Ken MacArthur is not by there yet. Looks like Ken is having a little bit of trouble. And then DJ Swiss, he goes off pretty hard. Let's see what happens here. That's that blind turn. Then he goes, he gets through the turn all right, but he gets on the gas too hard and swings that back end to the wrong side. So it's a tough night for some of these boys, and it looks like the road course is hard on them. Hank Caston in 2nd. Woodward and Caston running similar lap times their last lap. Woodward was about a half a second quicker. And Woodward is 9 seconds and a little bit ahead of this guy here, Hank Caston. Let's ride along with Hank here first. There you hear the quick shifts. And then let's bring up the gears and the speed. He goes back to 1st gear here in that hairpin. On the gas, up to 2nd and up to 3rd. And then it's off the gas for turn number 1 here under the bridge. And he goes back to 2nd to have the engine help him slow down. And then that's the blind turn we were talking about where the car gets a little light. He's very careful on the gas. You see the car slip sliding a little bit on the back end there. Another little bit of a blind turn here. Also easy on the gas. Then he goes up to 3rd. Nope, he doesn't. He keeps it in 2nd here for the right-hander. Curbs are pretty harsh. Keeps it in 2nd on that little straightaway here, and then we go to the right here, back to 1st, and then we see those sweeping left and right turns, that twisty section here. Got to be a little careful with the curves here at Sonoma. They can upset your car pretty quickly. You can hear the engine revving up. That's the tires spinning. And then little short stretch here towards that hairpin. On the left is your pit lane entrance. And once again back to 1st gear. And that is a lap with Hank Caston in 2nd position. And it looks like he gained back a little bit of that deficit on J.D. Woodward. Looked like he was about a half a second quicker the last lap that we were on board with him, so maybe we should do that more often. Sean Retallick in the number 10 car, still in the 3rd position. excuse me, and then it's Michael Edwards in fourth. Ken MacArthur is in the sixth position. There you have him coming towards that final hairpin again. And then it's DG Swiss in the sixth position. He is about 55 seconds behind Ken MacArthur. And then 25 seconds further back, it is Nigel Christensen, and it looks like Nigel is in trouble. Doesn't seem to have too much speed here. Damage on the left front of that car. Dalton Hayes is shown in 8th. And he's a lap down from Christensen, and then 2 laps down from Hayes. It is Brian Rose. Brian Rose has actually left the race. Woodward, where are you at? There you are. He's finishing up his 14th or his 13th lap, going into 14 here. Still in the lead, 123.16, and Hank Caston posted a 122.1. That means that Caston is slowly but surely nibbling away from that deficit there. It is now down to 7.4 seconds. So that is good work for Hank Caston here. Lap number 14 of 65. We still have a ways to go, so let's keep an eye on Caston and see if he can work his way closer towards Woodward. He seems to be getting a little bit more comfortable. There we have DJ Swiss going off here. And that is that blind turn where it's so easy there to miss your apex if you're not familiar with the track. You have to make sure that this is not an easy track. I will tell you that. I've done this thing in Indy cars, and I've always struggled with it in Indy cars as well. It's very difficult to learn, and even if you get it memorized good, you're finding your braking points and apexes is just difficult because there's so very few points of reference beside the track that you can use. There's nothing but sand. So that is part of the reason why guys that are not regular road racers will also have difficulty. They're not used to driving on these reference points, and these reference points on this track are just hard to find. So it's not easy. Dalton Hayes here coming back towards that back end of the track here, going right to take the sweeping left-right section. Looks like he's got stuff a little bit better under control now. Good for him. His last lap was a 129. That means that he's a little bit quicker than the guys ahead of him, but he's got a lap to make up there. Ooh, it looks like we have Sean Retallick going off once again. The number 10 car in 3rd position. Let's see what happens. Ooh, yeah, just a little too harsh on the gas here where the car is light. And he saves it from going into the tire barrier, and he gets it back on track, but by now Michael Edwards has gone by him. There you see Mike Edwards. He's now in front of the number 10 car, picked up 3rd position here. And it looks to me like Hank Caston has had a little bit of an issue as well. His last lap was a 132, so he's been off track as well. See if we can find that. I'm not sure if that was the problem. No, that's not him. It's too far back. So Caston, let's see, he now posts a 122.3, so he's found his groove back, and he looks to be a little bit over a second quicker than Woodward. So the last lap he lost some time, but this lap he's gaining back some of it. So let's go take a look at Michael Edwards in 3rd position, a 124.2. That's not a terrible lap time. That's fairly respectable. Ooh, we have DJ Swiss going off again. Same thing as the Retallick did the last lap, and Retallick has been off again as well. Let's see if we can find that. That is into turn number 1 here. Let's see what happens. Looks like he's just a little too hot going in there. Gets it a little bit too hot on the apex and rolls off. And actually, that was right behind Christensen there, or Swiss. All right. There we have Dalton Hayes. Looked like he jumps that curb awfully hard. You want to be careful doing that. Okay, let's take a look here at Woodward. He's lapping Hayes now. Looks like Brian Rose is back in the pits trying to get back in the car. He may have had some fairly extensive damage there, but it looks like he's trying to get back into the race. There he goes. He's moving again. Pit lane speed limit is 45 miles an hour, so you have to be careful with that, and they have to watch for the blue cones before they merge onto the track there in the first turn. Dalton Hayes is off again. Let's see what happened. This is the fast curvy section here towards the end of the... Ooh, he just understeers there, tries to correct it by braking, and that makes it worse. And there in front of him, that's Woodward and... let me... Oops. That was Woodward and Nigel Christensen. All right, let's go check on Woodward here. It looks like he's doing fairly good. The lap times have dropped off quite a bit. Tire wear might be becoming an issue here on lap number 18. Hank Caston is quicker than Woodward, but he still has quite a bit of deficit to make up for since his little mistake. Ooh, there you see Caston getting loose and catching it off the turn. That's how you're supposed to do that. And I will admit that it's not easy with these heavy cars, but yeah, you have to be able to catch that back end sliding around. Michael Edwards in the third position, and now fairly closely followed here by Sean Retallick. So let's see if something develops here. It looks like Edwards has taken a defensive line there to the inside of the turn, over the curb, towards another right-hander here. And there they come, the twisty section. This is where you can make or break your lap, actually. You got to find a rhythm in these left-right sweeping turns. The number 21 of Edwards and Sean Retallick right behind him there, less than a second. We have somewhat of a battle going on here. On the brakes for the final hairpin. Ooh, the 21 steps out just slightly there. And it looks like Michael Edwards gets away from Sean Retallick there a little bit on acceleration. Back onto the hill. Ooh, looks like Sean is understeering like crazy there. So understeering means that the car is trying to slide over the front wheels, and that's where it comes in there. You have to use the brake to assist that weight of the car to move forward. You have to try to use the brake to get some pressure on those front wheels. We see Edwards locking up there a little bit even. That means he is actually using that pedal. And once again, in that twisty section here, you have to hit your... Ooh, and they follow each other off. That happens sometimes. If the guy in front of you makes a mistake, you just kind of go with him. Unfortunately there. Loses Sean Retallick a couple tenths of a second. And we have Brian off. He's having a hard time here. Let's see what happened to him. just misses the apex of that left-hander there. Woodward still in front, still about 15 seconds ahead of Hank Caston, running a 1:23.1, and Caston just ran a 1:24.4, so both of these guys looks like they're starting to struggle a little bit with their tires. We're on lap 20, so that might be a thought for them to get some fresh rubber and do this in 2 stops as opposed to 1. I'm not sure if they would make it on fuel on 1. We see Caston coming towards the hairpin here. Oh, and it looks like Brian Rose is going wide again. Looks like Caston had a good lap the previous lap at 22.8. Woodward ran a 1:22.7, and that means that they're pretty equal here, but for about 1/10 of a second, and that means that Woodward is hanging on to that lead he's got. That's about 16 seconds now, almost 17. Let's go check on Michael Edwards. And Sean Retallick is still within a second of striking distance, not close enough for anything meaningful to happen, but he's still there. And there you once again you see the number 10 just getting way understeered on that turn there, sliding over those front wheels. Basically tells me that he's just coming in a little hot and he needs to use that brake a little bit more. Brian going off again. Let's see what happened to him. Yeah, that car is understeered. Woodward still in the lead here. 1:23.9 as opposed to Caston, 1:22.8. So Caston is still a little bit quicker than Woodward, but so far he's just nibbling away from that deficit, and it's not fast. It's not going fast enough. Michael Edwards and Sean Retallick seem to be closing in on each other a little bit. Sean Retallick eating away from his deficit here on Edwards. It helps when you see your opponent right in front of you. That is a motivating. And there you go, side by side on the main straightaway. The 21 gets off the turn a little bit better, but the 10 tugs right in there. And then going into turn 1, going up the hill once again. Let's see if he can get that turn a little bit better than he's been doing. Yeah, absolutely he does. There you go. That's how that's supposed to work. And then once again, downhill and uphill. Another blind turn here where when you're in the turn, you don't see the exit. And that is a little tricky. And then a right-hander once again with a fairly hard curb. Sean Retallick is hanging on there. Let's ride along with him. He widens that entry to the turn a little bit more. There we go, back onto the curvy on the twisting section here. Takes the curb, misses the curb on the left side, takes the curb on the right side. That throws him out a little bit too far there. And there he misses the curb also. Coming towards that final hairpin. And there you have him, Sean Retallick in the number 10 car. Trying to get underneath that 21 once again, side by side down the main straight here. Well, not quite. Ooh, it looks like the 21 missed a gear maybe, or had a little bit of wheel spin coming off that turn. The 10 almost closed in on him. Had to use the brakes not to run into him. And now both of them are doing a lot better job on that turn there. And it looks like Brian is not having much fun tonight. That is that second turn there. He misses his apex and puts it into the tire barrier. Let's go back to that situation here. He's getting lapped. He goes very wide, lets the guys by, doesn't want to be the one that's in the way. And that looked like Michael Edwards and Sean Retallick, and they're now coming up on Dalton Hayes. Dalton makes way for them as well. Good job. 21 and the 10 there in third and fourth position. Only 0.3 of a second between these guys. That is basically your battle in this race. Ken MacArthur's having a little trouble getting it back in the right direction there. Let's see what happened to him. Ooh, he runs a little bit wide there, understeering, and gets it back on track. Nigel Christensen has an off year as well. That is the first part of the track here, the first turn going. Oh, he misses the entire first turn, hitting the brakes, and just completely understeers off the track here. And then, like I said, that sand is not a very big help. All right, let's go back to Michael Edwards and Sean Retallick, the closest battle we have on track. It's now a little bit more than it was before, but still under a second. And we had Nigel Christensen go off again. He's just trying to make way here for the guys that are fighting for position. Michael Edwards is hanging on to that third spot in front of Sean Retallick. And it looks like they're pretty equal in speed. Last lap, it was Retallick only 0.1 of a second apart from Edwards. So they're looking pretty equal here. That might make for some interesting racing. Coming towards that hairpin. It looks like Sean Retallick just starts a little bit wider onto those turns to curve a little bit wider. Ooh, and then he gets it almost wrong on the exit there, loses it a little bit again. You have to be so careful with that right foot. It's not like Talladega where you're having your foot down pretty much all the way. This is a lot more technical than that. And it looks like the lap times of the top drivers are getting more equal. It looks like Woodward is running 1:23.4, Gaston 1:23.3, and Edwards with a 1:23.8, and Retallick with a 1:24.3. So that is all closing in on each other. Woodward now running a 1:26, and that means he might be caught up behind traffic. And as a matter of fact, he is right there behind DG Swiss, I'm sorry. And I think in front of Swiss we have Ken MacArthur, and it looks like Swiss was having a little off there, trying to make way. Well, yep, there he goes, and he catches it, and he slots right back behind the leader there. Woodward now caught up behind the 26 once again. Looks like Woodward's having trouble with those tires as well. After 26 laps, it might be an idea for those guys to come and get some fresh rubber because they're struggling. That number 9 there is your leader, and the 26, that is DG Swiss in 6th position. See the leader going to the inside there. And Swiss is making way for him. Ooh, we have 3 cars in trouble here. Let's go see what happened. It looks like the 24 gets off the turn wrong, and the 16 of Christensen kind of cut the corner a little bit. Ooh, it looks like Hank Caston is having an issue here. Let's go see what happens to him. Yeah, those tires are just done. He knows how to do that turn, and he doesn't do it bad at all, but those tires just have no grip at all. And there we have Christensen, once again, ooh, he locks it up going into the turn there, way too wide. Dalton Hayes in trouble. These guys just need to go get their tires changed. But it kind of looks like they want to do this on one stop. Lap 27 of 65, so we're getting closer to that halfway mark. And it looks to me like everybody just wants to do this on one stop, but everybody seems to be struggling. If you're looking at the lap times currently, the leader, Woodward, ran a 129, Caston ran a 127, Edwards 24, Retallick a 124. Those guys are still staying fairly close together here. Ken MacArthur is about 30 seconds behind Sean Retallick. So Michael Edwards and Sean Retallick, that's pretty much the battle we can enjoy here. And it looks like the 16 had a little issue. Let's see what that was. It's just no grip on those front tires anymore. Those guys really be better off taking a pit stop. And that is the 97 going past Nigel Christensen. That is not for position. The leader going by him there. And then it's Brian Rose. J.D. Woodward in the lead, 22 seconds ahead of this man, Hank Caston. It looks like they're all running on eggs right now. They're struggling for grip. Michael Edwards in third. Retallick now a little bit over a second behind him. Let's go right along here with Sean. They're really easy on the gas here. They don't have any grip left. And here we see Brian Rose had another issue. Turn it around, it looks like. He's getting back on the way. And Woodward now behind the 97. That's the 5th place car. He's going to put a lap down. That's Ken MacArthur. Lap 29 of 65. Let's see how this plays out here. That's Hayes in front of these guys. Hayes is making way for them, it looks like. They're not close enough. Now the 97 gets underneath him. Ooh, and Hayes almost loses it there. The number 9 going by Dalton Hayes. Woodward, that's not for position. That is putting another lap on Dalton Hayes. So currently, when we're looking at the information scoring provides us with, it looks like J.D. Woodward, your leader, is the only driver that has not been in a major incident going off track for big enough for iRacing to register it. And that is quite telling. There we have Christensen having another one. No grip on those front wheels. I don't understand why he just goes gets some new tires. Woodward is the only one with no registered incident. We have a yellow flag. They might be throwing a mid-race caution here. Well, that would bring everybody into the pits, I'm sure. All right, let's go find what happened to Hank Caston. He is now 41 seconds behind, so he's been in trouble as well. Sean Ritalik has passed Michael Edwards. Let's see if we can find this back. Oops, wrong car. Well, I want to find that. It's all right. There you have it. It's in the hairpin, and it looks like the 21 just gets it a little wrong, going too early on the gas, and the number 10 passes him, and that was 4th position, so Sean Ritalik has picked up 3rd position. There we see Brian going into the pits. I'm sure he will look forward to getting some new rubber here. Haven't seen anybody else go in. They're running behind the pace car now. Well, this is good news for Hank Caston because he had a 53-second deficit on Woodward, and that's going to evaporate. That's going to reset his race to give him another shot at the victory here. Sean Ritalik 3 seconds behind Caston. That's going to close up, obviously. Michael Edwards in 4th, Ken MacArthur in 5th, Gigi Swiss in 6th. Gigi is a lap behind MacArthur. Then it's Christensen, he's a lap behind Swiss. Then it's Dalton Hayes. It looks like he is on the same lap as Christensen. And then it's Brian Rose, and he is 6 laps behind Dalton Hayes. He's currently the final running car. He's coming back out of the pits. It looks like Woodward's coming in. And I expect everybody to be coming in here shortly. They're still all trying to catch up with the pace car, it looks like. There's Caston. He's coming towards the hairpin now. So, yeah, he'll be going in. There you have him. Sean Ritalik going in. Michael Edwards going in. Let's see where Ken MacArthur is. He's still on the back end of the track. There's your leader. There's the pursuers coming behind him. And MacArthur looks like he's coming towards pit lane now. There he comes. And let's go check on Swiss. On his way to the pit lane as well. Christensen still on the back end of the track here. Dalton Hayes coming towards pit lane. Not sure if he's going to take that. And who is that behind him? That is Swiss. So they're not coming in. MacArthur is coming in. All right, let's go check on your leaders. They're trying to catch up to that pace car now. Let's ride along with him here. You can't even see the pace car. Yellow might be over before they all get bunched up behind that pace car. Ooh, now they're working cold tires, obviously. They got to get some heat in there. I still don't see the pace car.
Green flag, green flag.
And like I said, we're racing again. This pace car was already in. So the pace car situation didn't help very much. Hank Caston is still 20 seconds behind Woodward.
The yellow flag is out.
We have another yellow. I'm sure race control did that to bunch him up and try to make this race a little bit more interesting. Christensen is in the pit in the 16 car. And And here we see the other guys, the number 5 of Caston, the 10 of Retallick, the 21 of Edwards. They're fairly close together, trying to catch up to the leader to bunch the field back up and see if we can breathe some new life into this race. Let's go see Swiss. Ooh, looks like Hayes was getting over that curb pretty hard. Christensen is still in the pit, so he's probably trying to get some repairs done on that car. And let's see where Brian Rose is. He is still out on track. Not sure where he is compared to the other guys. He's actually in front of the pace car, so he needs to run that lap a little bit quicker to catch up with the pace car. It looks like he wants the pace car to go by him. Swiss now back in the pits here in the 26 car. Dalton Hayes back into the pits, and Nigel Christensen is still in the pit. All right, so up front, it looks like we're all catching up to each other now. Woodward is right behind the pace car, and there in the background you see the other guys catching up. That's Caston, Retallick, Edwards. I haven't seen MacArthur. He's still he's still on the other end of the track. So there we see the guys finally bunching them up. And then it looks like everybody's going into the pits once again. Well, it might have been that the fuel situation kind of forces them to do this again if they want to make it to lap 65. I'm not sure about that, but that's my hunch here. Other than that, I wouldn't see any reason for them to come back in within 4 laps with only 1 green lap of racing. MacArthur is also in the pits. There you see, now we're getting somewhere. Who's that coming out of Woodward, in front of Woodward? Oh, that's Nigel Christensen that gets in front of Woodward. That means he gets a 1 lap back. Brian is having trouble catching up with the field. So Woodward is on his way to find that pace car once again. There's the pace car. Did the pace car go in already? Yep, pace car is already in. They're not bunched up, but at least the distances are a little bit smaller than they were. It looks like Woodward is in front now still, with Michael Edwards in the 2nd position. I'm fairly sure Michael did not pit a 2nd time. And then it's Sean Retallick in 3rd, and it's Hank Caston dropping back to 4th. Ken MacArthur in 5th, GG Swiss is in 6th, and they're all on the lead lap. These first 6 drivers are on the lead lap. The first one that's not on the lead lap is Dalton Hayes in 7th. So let's keep an eye out here, what we're going to see here as they're working their way around the 16 of Nigel Christensen. The top 3 drivers have passed Christensen there, and it's Sean Retallick trying to hunt down Michael Edwards. Woodward is pulling away from him already, about 1.6 seconds. Ooh, it looks like Sean Retallick took that turn pretty wide and almost got onto the sand. He has a habit of entering the turns from a little bit wider than Edwards does. Seen that before. So he's going after the 21. And now they're bunching them up again. Ooh, the 10 almost loses it coming off the turn. Woodward now right in front of Edwards. And there we see Sean Retallick going off. He saves it and he brings it back on track, but he loses about 2 seconds there. Right in front of him, it's Edwards behind Woodward. Well, it looks to me like Michael Edwards has found his groove a little bit here. He runs similar lap times as Woodward. And second is still quite a bit, but at least he's hanging with him. Ooh, the 10 breaks in really late there, trying to make up for some lost distance there. And he does seem to get that right. Sean Retallick chasing back after Michael Edwards here. Trying to get into that turn a little deeper. He catches up to that 21 there. Ooh, almost loses it again. Let's go check on Hank Caston. It looks like he's in a little bit more trouble now. He ran the fastest lap since the yellow flag, 120.6. He's in 4th position, and he's about 6 seconds behind Sean Retallick. There we have the leaders once again. Woodward now having a little bit more of a fight on his hands with Edwards right behind him and Sean Retallick right behind Edwards. These guys are looking fairly solid here, all 121 laps. And there you see the number 10 coming into that turn deep again, and a little bit too deep this time. He overshoots it just a little bit. Edwards less than a second behind your leader now. Ooh, the 21 just gets off the turn. Retallick gets off the turn as well once again. Well, like I said, the only one that hasn't done anything like that that is registered by iRacing, that is J.D. Woodward. 0 incidents registered by iRacing, and that means that he has not had 4 wheels off the track yet. There's no other driver in this race that can say that. Not even Hank Caston. Hank Caston is in 4th, and he's catching up a little bit, but not by much. And it looks like Brian is having some more trouble here. Let's see what that was all about. Well, he gets it back rolling again. There's your leader. Keep an eye on those lap times. You'll see that Woodward is currently quicker than the rest of them. Ooh, there they missing Dalton Hayes there. See what happened to Dalton. Ooh, and the biggest issue is that he almost turns it around again when he's trying to get going right in front of the leaders. Michael Edwards is still close to Woodward here. Lap times are coming up already a little bit. It looks like it's a long night for some of these guys. The top three here doing pretty good. Closer together under braking and then trying to get off the turn, not to lose as much as they had. A 123 for Woodward, 122 for Edwards, and a 121 for Italic, so they're getting closer together again. And it definitely is true that these fresher tires helped all of them. And the yellows bunched them back up. Gives us a... Oh, there we see Brian taking out the number 2 car and the number 3 car. There he is, trying to get back into the right direction. Then he wants to get out of the way, and the 21 decided to go left at the moment that he did as well. Well, that kind of pulls him back apart, doesn't it? Michael Edwards, where is he? What happened? Let's see here what the aftermath of this feast is. Oh, it looks like the 10 just gets by the 21 there. The 21's got quite a bit of damage on the front end. That's going to hurt his top speed. And it might also affect a little bit of the downforce in the faster turns. The slower turns is not, the aero is not important in slow turns. Aero is important in fast turns. That twisty section coming back towards the hairpin, that's where it might affect him. And these turns right here, these are fairly fast as well. You'll be struggling for grip on the front end in these quicker turns here. And it looks like Hank Caston's catching up to him now. There you have the number 5 car. 4th position with the 3rd place car of Edwards right in front of him. We have DG Swiss somewhere. Let's see what happened to him. Yeah, just too quickly on the gas. That back end stepping out. Woodward is now 1.4, 1.5 seconds clear of Sean Retallick, and they're still trying to have a bit of a battle for the lead. 5 seconds down towards Michael Edwards and Hank Caston. And Hank Caston obviously has an opportunity here. Not sure if he knows how bad the front end of that other car is damaged. They're actually not that far behind your 2 leaders, about 5.5 seconds. Ooh, the 21 gets it a little bit wrong there. And the 5 now going underneath him in the turn. 21 stays wide. He knows he's there under siege. The 5 picks up 3rd position. That's Hank Caston for you, championship leader. And in front there we see Well, that was not there, but that was Dalton Hayes. Dalton is struggling a little bit. There he has 2 tires in the sand. Let's go check back on Hank Caston once again. Looks like he's clearing Michael Edwards pretty easily. Let's ride along with Hank here. Coming down the main straightaway here, a little left kink. Then on the left you see the flag stand. Going under the bridge. You can hear the tires scrub over that asphalt. Nice apex here. Easy on the gas when the car gets light. And then another blind turn here where you cannot see the exit until you get there. And then another right-hander here, and then through that sweeping section, that twisty section. Really have to try to find a rhythm in that left, right stuff here. Touch your apexes and not drift too far to the outside, because that'll ruin your next turn. Here you try to stay on the left so you can hit the apex on this turn. And there you have it. That's a lap with Hank Caston here at Sonoma Raceway in sunny California. Michael Edwards going into the pits now. Be interesting to see if he still has that fast repair. That would really work for him. He's got 38 seconds on MacArthur, so he might actually hold on to that 4th position here. Let's see if he has that fast repair. He knows that car doesn't feel right anymore. I don't believe he has a fast repair left. That damage is not going away. So he has about 30 seconds before Ken MacArthur takes that position away from him. And he might be thinking, there you have it. Ken MacArthur has passed him now. Might be trying to get some stuff repaired here. That's probably going to take a little bit. So let's go check back out here on front. It says Sean Retallick in the hairpin here. Fairly close behind Woodward. It's about 7/10 of a second. And he seems to close in under braking fairly good. But he has, oh, there he gets it all wrong under the throttle. He seemed to be doing better under braking than he is on the throttle. And here, this is, I mean, this looks a little silly maybe, but it's just hard. You have no grip at all. You want to get going as fast as you can, and you have zero grip in that sand. Well, it looks like we're back to the beginning. With Hank Caston has picked up 2nd position when, as Sean Retallick was digging through the dirt there. It's Hank picking up 2nd position, almost 4 seconds behind J.D. Woodward. And Retallick is now about 7 seconds behind Caston with that little escapade there. Ken MacArthur is in 4th, 43 seconds behind. Mike Edwards is back out running again. That car is not fixed up very much, but hopefully his new tires will help him a little bit. We have DG Swiss in 7th position, a lap down behind Edwards. We have Dalton Hayes 2 laps behind Swiss, We have Brian Rose in the 8th position. Ooh, and he misses it as we look at him. He's 8 laps behind Hayes. It looks like Brian also has a little bit of a connection issue there. There, the leader goes by, trying to get back on track. Car's taking a beating. Ooh, it looks like Brian's connection has just given up on him. Woodward in the lead. It's Hank Caston behind him there, and it looks like we might have something brewing here, because Hank Caston is quicker than Woodward at this point. He ran a 122 as opposed to Woodward running at 124. We're also we're getting close to the end of lap 47 here, so we'll keep an eye on that scoring there and see if Caston is actually quicker again. If that is the case, then we have something developing here before the end of the day. Yep, it looks like Caston is still about, just under a second quicker than Woodward. That gap is now down to 3.1. And obviously on a road course, you'll see those gaps between the drivers, those intervals. They're going up, down all the time, because one driver could be better in one section of the track, and his pursuer could be better in another section of the track. There's Woodward going through the twisty section here again. Looks like he's got that rhythm pretty good. Hank Caston is quicker here. Deficit coming down to about 2 seconds now. We might have a little fight on our hands here. There, we have Dalton Hayes getting it wrong once again. Not sure if they have a maximum incident count for this race, but if so, then some of the guys should be careful. And it looks like Dalton's having trouble getting out of the sand there. Now he's got it back on the road again. Caston, 2.3 seconds behind Woodward. Hank Caston in hot pursuit. And last lap he picked up quite a bit of time here in this twisty section, so let's see what he does. Yeah, it looks like he's a little bit quicker in this section of the track. Down to 1.3, 1.4 seconds now. Looks like he's gaining a little bit under braking as well. So on to lap 50, we're looking at Hank Caston catching up to J.D. Woodward here. Your battle for the lead. Let's go take a look at somebody, at the other guys here. Sean Retallick in third. He is 8 seconds behind Caston. Then it's Ken MacArthur in the 4th position, 49 seconds behind Sean Retallick. Michael Edwards in 5th. He is 16, 17 seconds behind MacArthur. Then it's DG Swiss. He's a lap behind Edwards. Hayes, Dalton Hayes is 2 laps behind Swiss. And Brian Rose is out. We saw his connection going bad when we were looking at him. Unfortunately for Brian Rose, can't finish the race. Hank Caston now 1.3 seconds. Once again, that twisty section seems to be working for him. Sean Retallick going off here. That is at the start of that twisty section. Ooh, he just overshoots the turn there. The entry misses his braking point. And there we have your 2 leaders. And they'll be starting lap 51 here. And Hank Caston is definitely gaining. Let's ride along with Hank once again here. He's got that apex pretty right there. Same here. He's back end steps out on him a little bit, but you can hear he's very easy on the throttle. And I think that's the secret for these guys in these cars. You have to take it easy on that throttle, smooth and easy on the gas. That's the secret here. Now the distance to Woodward is under 1 second. You can see on the left side of your screen it's dropping down to about a half a second here. Woodward's in a little bit of trouble. And this is where it gets really motivating for the man you're riding with. You're getting closer, you're closing in visually on the car in front of you. This is where you get pumped up. There you have him coming off the hairpin, going into lap 52. Hank Caston, 0.6 of a second now behind your leader, J.D. Woodward. Ooh, now they're getting really close together now. And on their last lap, it was, Caston has, I'm sorry, Ritalik is going off there. Yeah, just no grip anymore on those front wheels. Let's go back to the fight for the lead here. Woodward and Caston within 0.7 of a second here of each other. Back into that twisty section. Now it looks like Woodward is kind of counter-attacking. Lap times fairly close together. 1:22 of Woodward and a 1:21.7 of Caston. Let's see what it is this lap. And there we see DG Swiss going into the pits. Maybe they learned their lesson and get some new tires. They're not fighting for position. So on the last lap, these guys ran pretty much equal lap times, and there you see the number 5 going by. That is the pass for the lead. Let's bring that back here real quick. From the main straightaway on, it looks like the number 5 just takes a little bit of a dive into that first turn. Passes Woodward fairly easy. So the new leader in this race is Hank Caston. Ooh, there we see Woodward taking that turn a little bit wide. That does not count as an off track because it's asphalt there, so he's still the only driver in this race with no registered all 4 wheels off track. And Hank Caston has done it once, but it looks like he's doing pretty good right now. He looks to be in charge here. Putting about 0.7 of a second on Woodward. Woodward going to the inside, but he's nowhere near close enough to try something. And Caston with a 1:23.2 and Woodward with a 1:24.6. So at this point, it looks like Hank Caston is the man to beat. We have 12 more laps in this race. Let's go and check on the number 3 position here. That is Sean Retallick, still about 13 seconds behind J.D. Woodward. In 4th position, we have Ken MacArthur in the 97 car, 51 seconds behind Retallick. And then it's Michael Edwards. He's about 10 seconds behind MacArthur. And DG Swiss is still running. Dalton Hayes is still running. And Brian Rose, it looks like he did not return. There we see the leaders coming up on the back of Dalton Hayes. And that brings J.D. Woodward right alongside. Going into the hairpin. Well, he looked like he was alongside, but he didn't quite get there. It's bunching them up, though. They have to find their way around Dalton. It looks like Dalton has found a bit of grip here that he wasn't lacking before. He's actually running his own lines there. Now he's moving to the side. That's good sportsmanship. He doesn't want to be the one to interfere with the lead here. Hank Caston and Woodward now fairly close together. And that's what it looks like from the back end of Hank's car. That is J.D. Woodward you're looking at in the Napa car. Picking up that curb. Yeah, they've got this twisty section down pretty good. And there we see Woodward coming closer. Can he get it alongside? He's fairly close, but not quite close enough to do anything under braking. And Hank Gaston is taking... He's being cautious there, taken to the outside quite far. Then he comes off the turn quite a bit better than Woodward, picks that lead right back up. Let's bring that back for you. There you see him, Gaston wide in that final turn there. Woodward coming underneath, but then Hank Gaston getting on the gas quite a bit better, getting off the turn a lot better than Woodward. There, Woodward is hanging on to that second position right behind Hank Gaston, fairly good, trying not to lose too much time. It's within a half a second now. This twisty section can be a place where you make or break your lap. You have to get into a good rhythm, hitting your apexes. When you miss one of them, you run wide for the next turn. There we see Woodward once again trying to get to that inside. He's not close enough. Now it looks like Woodward comes off the turn pretty good. Closing in there on Caston. Can he get to the inside before they reach turn 1? No, not quite. Maybe going up the hill here. He's hanging with the 5 really well. These guys seem to be fairly evenly matched at this point in the race. Trying again on the inside. Nope. Too far back. And then once again, that twisty second. Ooh, that's what I mean. When you run wide one turn, you're going to miss your momentum in the next one. And it looks like that Woodward's got that last one a little bit better figured out than Hank Caston does. once again, both coming off that turn fairly nice. This is still a battle. We're on lap 58. So we got 8 laps to go. That's still some opportunity there for JD, I believe. Oh, and Caston gets it all wrong. He comes off that turn too wide. Let's check that out one more time here. He just has no grip on that front end. Those tires are going away from him. And it looks like Woodward picks up the lead, and that fight for the lead looks like it's fairly settled now. If JD can hold on to that 0 in incidents that he's been hanging on to, 58 laps, we have guys up in 20 incidents, and JD Woodward is the only one that has never had 4 wheels off the track where iRacing registers it. So hats off to that. Yeah, he's got quite a bit of distance now on Hank Caston, about 3 seconds. Caston's not giving up. He still has 8 laps to get back there. And we have MacArthur with a little bit of an issue here. Let's bring back the... see what leads up to this. Ooh, he's just too late for that turn there. And at least he can keep it off the tire wall. Gets back on track. And then he's dealing with the leaders going by him. That gives a little bit of a... let's see if he... if that... yeah, it looks like Woodward was right behind him as he got it all wrong again. And that is helpful to Hank Caston, it looks like. Hank is now closely behind Woodward once again. Yeah, Caston's hanging on there to that rear bumper of the 9 car. He's might still have something for him. Lap 60. 6 more laps to go for him. He's close enough for that to make that work. But they're both going to have to be a little bit careful because those tires are about as old as, what is it, 30 laps or so. And we know how that works. Ooh, Caston comes really close now. It looks like Woodward had a bit of trouble there. Yeah. It looks like Caston gets underneath him there. And he picks that lead back right back up here. JD was running a little bit wide there. That is one spot on the track where iRacing does not register anything because it's asphalt and they're allowed to go over there. Hank Caston back in the lead now. And this part here is where Woodward can apparently gain a little bit. That final part of that twisty section. Ooh, it looks like Caston's running wide there. And Woodward going underneath him. Now we're side by side, drag racing to the line. 5 laps to go. When we cross that line, we have a battle for the lead developing here. The 5 now coming alongside. It looks like the 9 is a bit too careful there in that first turn. Hank Caston going right past him again. I'm thinking both these guys, like all the others, are struggling for grip once again. 30 laps on those tires. With the high track temperature, that probably is costing them quite a bit of grip. think Dalton Hayes had another adventure. Yeah, he's struggling for grip. Those tires are just gone. Let's go back up here to Hank Caston, your leader, and J.D. Woodward battling him for that lead. Looks like Hank has got that turn a little bit tighter now. Comes off of it quite tight as well. Four more laps to go. J.D. Woodward, what can he still do? And we can check from the back of the car of Hank here. That's J.D. Woodward coming at us. You can see the elevation changes a little bit better this way. Short stretch here. Another right-hand turn coming up. Looks like JD's coming closer under braking. He hits that apex nicely. Hits that apex nicely. This one's important. This one's important. Then they can get back on the gas. And then we come to the one where we've seen JD come closer. And he does that again. Not by much, but he does it. Then we get into the final hairpin, and under braking, he closes in once again. And you can hear how easy Hank is on that throttle. There you have him. 3 more laps to go. Let's go check on the rest of the guys here real quick. We have Sean Retallick still in third. He's going to be putting a lap on Ken MacArthur, it looks like. Yeah, MacArthur gives the way, and then Mike Edwards is in fourth, and it looks like he had a little issue here as well. Yeah, that front end has no grip at all. Going through the dirt once again. And then we have to go back to Sean Retallick because he's having an incident as well. We checked on him earlier, and evidently something went bad after that. There you have it. He's a little bit offline here, and no grip on that front end. Goes through the dirt as well. Go check on your leader here. Hank Caston has 2 seconds now on J.D. Woodward. Woodward is struggling for grip, it looks like. He did not have an off. He still does not have an off track with all 4 wheels. But he's just struggling for grip, it looks like. And they all are. All those tires are 30 laps old, and it's just, they're getting burned up. Lap times are coming way up now. Last lap time for Hank was a 1:25.5 and J.D. Woodward a 1:26. So yeah, these guys are all struggling for grip. And it's a matter of hanging on now and trying not to make mistakes. They're close enough together that any mistake would be punished instantly, and Woodward's getting close. But also J.D. has to be just as careful as the guy in front of him. It's going to be that we're going to see the white flag as we come by the start finish here after that hairpin that we're coming up to fairly close now. And we're going to be seeing the white flag, and this is going to be a slip sliding last lap for position for the lead. And it looks like JD is on the inside now, taking the lead back here as we enter the last lap. JD takes the position away from Hank Caston. What can Hank still do on that final lap here? He closes in on him once again, and he throws it in there. And he picks up that lead with a bold move there. Side by side now. And then it is the 5 nosing ahead of that 9. That was a bold move. He felt he had the grip. Ooh, they touched. They touched, and it gets the 5 a little sideways, and the 9 picks up the lead once again. The 9 runs a little wide now. Woodward taking the defensive line there now. And he holds off the number 5 going into this twisty section, and it's going to be up to Hank to get through here a little bit better and maybe try to outbreak him once again on that final hairpin. Oh, he's not close enough. He's not close enough. It looks like JD is going to pick up a win here. There we have him coming at your final turn. The number 9 of JD Woodworth running defense. Oh, and Hank was just trying to do something. He knew that was his last chance. He's got plenty of time before Retallick gets to him, so he was just trying something. Couldn't make it work. JD Woodward picks up a win here at Sonoma, California. It's Hank Gaston in second place. You can't blame a guy for trying, that's for sure. Then we have Sean Retallick coming around the last bend here. No, he's not. He has to back it out of the tire wall to make it around that final turn here. Sonoma, California. Sean Retallick, third place. Struggling for grip. We have Ken MacArthur standing in the dirt. We have Michael Edwards in fourth position, trying to bring it home to the finish. There he comes, struggling for grip, no front end. He's the final running car on the track. Final turn. Ooh, also going a little deep there. Oh, he does the same thing as Retallick, just too deep into too early of an apex, and then you run out of room at the end of the turn. There he goes, comes across the finish line. He brings it home. Well, he still's got across the finish line. There you have him. He made it home in fourth position. All right, folks, that is your race here at Sonoma. Let's go check on your final standings here, if we can find them really quickly. And there's your leader celebration. It looks like the time has run out on this race. Not sure where he went. Woodward, where did you go? There he is. He's getting ready to burn some rubber here. Let's bring that back for you. If there was any rubber left on those tires, it's gone now. He's going to wear them down to the threads here. Well, at least he's had fun. It looked like the excitement in the race. We had to wait pretty much to the last few laps before the battle for the lead heating up. And in the end, it was JD Woodward bringing it home in first place. Congratulations to him. Hank Gaston gave him a good run for his money. Came up a little bit short. He tried a bit of a do-or-die move there on that last turn. It wasn't enough to pass Woodward or to upset Woodward. Sean Retallick is in third position, hanging on there with 39-second deficit, but he brought it home as well. Michael Edwards in fourth position, and then it's Ken MacArthur, 1 lap down. It's DG Swiss, 5 laps down. And then it's Dalton Hayes, 5 laps down as well. And then Brian Rose didn't make it rolling into the finish. and neither did Nigel Christensen. I think it's fair to say that these guys have their work cut out for them on road courses. Next week, folks, we're going to be going to Las Vegas for the final race before we get into the playoffs. So next week we're going to determine who will go through to the playoffs and who will not. So we hope to see you there at Las Vegas with us once again. Hopefully, some more drivers will come back into the series and have a little bit bigger field than we had tonight. Obviously, the road course was a bit of a challenge for some of them, and maybe that's part of the reason that some of them opted out for this race here tonight in Sonoma, California. Let's hope they're all back in Las Vegas next week, and let's hope we have a good old battle on an oval next week once again. And we hope to see you there. This is Short Shift Broadcasting. My name is Mark. Thank you very much for tuning in, and we hope to see you next week.